Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Paterson, and welcome back to another logo critiquing video where I take your logos and I critique them and hopefully give you a helping hand critiquing or making a better logo or design work. But first, I need something. Hello, I'm back. What's going on? So as I said, I do these logo critiques hopefully every week, or I try to do them every week. Sometimes it is not possible, but today I'm going to be critiquing your logos. I am actually opening up the floor for anyone who does design work. So whether you're a hand lettering artist or a business card designer, all you have to do is go to the link in the description and you will be able to submit a logo for critique. If you're new to this channel or you haven't done so already, please press that red subscribe button down below and press notifications on and share this video and comment and do all that. Be a part of the community. If you do all those things, you won't really miss an update on my channel. You'll never miss a video being uploaded. And just so you know, I normally talk to the first people who upload on the videos just because I'm seeing how the video's doing. Okay, let's get into this. The first logo that we're critiquing today is from Dennis, and he says this: "Hello, my name is Dennis. I'm a 24-year-old graphic designer from, I can't pronounce that. He loves coffee and he's a logo designer and illustrator. First off the bat, I love the typeface he's got going on here. It's very upmarket, but I would change. You spelt your name wrong. Apologies for showing you this, but you spelt your name wrong." Don't worry, dude, I do this a lot of the time with my clients too. In fact, my last project, quite embarrassingly, I spelt a part of the name wrong until the finals. So kind of embarrassing, but make sure you look out for that. The monogram I don't think fits with your business, to be honest. If you're a logo designer or a hand lettering artist and someone is going to hire you to do a certain type of work, it's going to be from the work that they've seen or the work that you have. Although I do love the illustrative type you've got going on, like the actual D and H, I just don't think it works to the best that it could do. I think you can make that look a lot less Victorian or Tudory and make it look a lot more modern. Is that Dido that you're using there? I think you're using Dido. I think you could go for a bit more of a modern look. Take this, make it more modern, and you'll see what happens. All this detail here, it does not need to be there. Logo design is all about what you can take away from the logo without taking anything away from the logo. This next one is from Gnome, if that's how you say your name. Not too sure if that's how you actually say it, sorry. But he's a 16-year-old and he's trying to get my thoughts and opinions on his logo as a graphic designer. First of all, he's showing me his logo here. It's not high definition, so we're just gonna have to zoom in and see what happens. So here we've got the logo in all its glory. I do like the logo. What I don't get is the pen there, and I don't think a client will get that. It sort of seems to me that you've taken your experience as a designer, so the software you use, hence the pen tool, and you've gone ahead and put that into the logo without thinking about what clients are going to look for. Now, if you ask a client what's a pen tool or what's the pen tool, they will not have a clue, and that's why you have a job, or will have a job in your case. Although I do like the placement of the pen there. I think it's a cool icon to have. One thing, if you want to change that icon up, make it less sharp at the edges, it's just way too sharp and pointy. It doesn't look like the pen tool. Make it more abstract and more iconographic. Make it look more like an icon even. I do love the choice of typeface that you've used though, because you've got great hierarchy. Now you can see that by Kets and then graphic designer. So graphic design on the bottom works really well. One thing I would say though is that you've gone ahead and mathematically aligned graphic designer to Kets, which is wrong. You need to move this to the left to make sure that it looks actually aligned. This is called optical alignment, because you can have things that are mathematically aligned and they don't look right, but if you optically align it, so you trust your eyes, it'll look a lot better. Don't always trust the align features in Adobe Illustrator. But Cats, it's a really good logo. I like it. I just think you need to change a few things. Love the typeface. Love the fact that you've got the K and the E cut out with the pencil right there. Maybe using some Bezier handles will be cool, because if you've got a pen tool there, they may understand it a bit more. But I don't think the actual concept is, I don't think clients will understand. It's great for graphic designers, probably not great for clients. So I would rethink that what you've got there. This next one is from Charlie Elise. I think that's how you pronounce your name. I'm terrible with names. And he says this: hello Will, my name is Charlie Elise. I'm 17 and I'm a concept game artist. I've recently started doing more logo design, and this is some of the freelance work for a clothing shop called Strong Mind. They want me to only include the letters S and M. Thank you, and I love the videos. Thank you so much for watching, dude. You mean the world to me. So here is the logo here. This is for a clothing and apparel shop. Now the first thing that sticks out to me is that the actual icon, the S and M monogram, kind of looks like a shield. So I'm not too sure what you're going for with this. Maybe something that's cool is that you could turn it into a t-shirt design if you were to change or give it serifs. So the actual, if it's an apparel store, it would make sense to have the S and an M in a t-shirt. Now the other thing you could do is go even simpler. We try to overcomplicate it all the time. We don't mean to, but we just do because we're creatives. So that means that we've got a lot of these ideas in our head. Remember this one thing, logo design is all about simplicity. It's all about having a simple concept. Now, this is debatable depending on the type of client you're working with, especially if this is sort of like a vintage store. I work with a lot of vintage styled companies, and I do a lot of ornate work or a lot of ornate branding. Now, for something like this, for Strong Mind, it's important to understand what the words mean and also the goals that the company have. They want S and M, strong minds. What could you do? S, M. Very simple. It seems like they just need something really bold and simple. Now they should give you some more buzzwords, and it's important to listen to these buzzwords as to find out the goals of the client so you can meet their goals. So try and write down all the buzzwords that they gave you when they called you or in this competition. This next one is from Tatiana. This is Tatiana's first logo type that she's showing, and she wants me to basically give her some pointers and stuff. She says it was made for a logo contest for Turkish fast food in Moscow. I didn't win, but I really like how it looks. They also needed a concept of a menu, so I made some illustrations. It's written in Russian. That is fine. So this is like a gourmet fast food restaurant, I'm guessing, by the look of it. So let's have a look at your work. So you do hand lettering, so you know sort of the fundamentals. Now the first thing that I love about this is the handwritten look. Now for gourmet restaurants, this is super important to have a clean logo that could be also seen as handwritten. The only problem that I have with this handwritten logo is that you've gone for a traditional calligraphic Z. Now the problem with that is that's not good for legibility. Now when it comes to logo design, it's not about what you can add to it, so all these different glyphs and stuff that you could put onto it or flourishes. It's all about simplicity. So what I would do is break the rules of your lettering and go for a bit more of a stylized or even less of a stylized look at the Z. Maybe create a brush type Z that follows the same as a sans serif Z. I love the way that it fits, and I think it looks really good. It should work on its own, so I would go ahead and change, if we can, zoom in. I would change the street view bit to be a bit further up just to make it look a bit nicer. I can see your work here, you've spent a long time on it, and that Z there is the best one. You're a proper hand lettering artist because you've chosen the one that looks the best. Now you need to choose the one that works the best, not the one that looks the best. And I know it's difficult, I find it difficult all the time, but the first one here is the one that should have been chosen for the competition. I love the fact that you've shown mock-ups of the work. Now this is the type of thing that clients look for, especially if you're a freelancer and you've got a small budget. You need to be able to show the client exactly what the logo type is going to look like when it's printed or when it's made or when it's in their restaurant. So that might mean that when you're doing the logo type, you go into the coffee shop, restaurant, business center, wherever they are, take some pictures of the wall and create a mock-up of yourself. So you can show your logo design on their wall. That's the thing that sells them the logo. Most of the time you need to sell an idea to a client because you know best. I love how it's wood cut there. You can see the texture, it looks really nice. And I love the menu design you've got going on here. Now, obviously I'm not reading Russian, I can't read Russian, but I do love the hierarchy you've got going on here. But just be careful, in this menu design, you've got a lot of blank space. You don't want that. You want to make sure that this logo doesn't have to be fitted on the top, but it can be fit very smallly on the top. So maybe take it out of the circle. All in all, really like it. Looks awesome. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I want to give a huge shout out to FreshBooks for sponsoring this video. FreshBooks is an online invoicing platform that I use to send invoices to gather up all my expenses and to get paid even quicker. FreshBooks is like an assistant to you in the fact that it sends invoices so easily and quickly, and you can email the clients or the people who haven't invoiced you. You can set automatic reminders. There's automatic late payment fees, and the best thing ever is that you can see when the client has seen that invoice. So when they say, oh, sorry, I haven't paid it because I haven't seen it, you know they have, because it says there that you saw that invoice. All joking aside though, FreshBooks is amazing. I've been using it for a while. I wouldn't go anywhere else. It's just so functional. You can do so much with it. So if you want to have 30 days free FreshBooks for completely free, click that link down below in the description, but also let them know how you heard about them. So tell them that I told you about this so they know that I'm taking you there. Yeah, you get me. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I just want to show my appreciation to everyone who emails in. Please email in your logo designs. I know I'm trying to get these videos out more and more often. I do really appreciate you guys doing this. It is an amazing thing and I love my job. Thank you so much for allowing me this. Now, if you haven't already, press that subscribe button down below, because I know a lot of you who watch these don't actually subscribe. But please press that subscribe button. It helps me know what you like. Also, let me know down below what video you'd like to see next, and I'll catch you in the next one. See you soon. Goodbye.